Palermo, Sicily's bustling capital, is a vibrant tapestry of history, culture, and Mediterranean allure. Its streets hum with a fusion of ancient influences, from Phoenician to Baroque, showcased in landmarks such as the Norman Palace and the Palatine Chapel. Vibrant markets like Ballarò and Vucciria offer a sensory immersion into local life, while the city's contemporary art scene and culinary delights provide a modern twist. With its sun-soaked beaches and stunning vistas of Mount Pellegrino, Palermo is a captivating destination that effortlessly blends the old with the new. However, beneath its rich history lies a shadowy past. Between 1990 and 1992, the disappearance of two young cousins under mysterious circumstances sent shockwaves through Sicily's capital, leaving a lingering sense of intrigue and uncertainty. On the afternoon of March 23, 1990, 6-year-old Santina Renda, who was described by her family as beautiful and lively, vanished while playing with her sister Francesca and their friends outside of the apartment building they lived in, known as Via Pietro dell'Aquila. Darting through the labyrinthine streets of the San Giovanni Apostolo district, then simply known as C.O.A.G, Santina inexplicably disappeared without a trace. Speaking to Giornale di Sicilia, Francesca, who was 1 year younger than her sister Santina, later recollected the events of that fateful day. "We went down in the early afternoon after lunch, as we always did. We went down to a courtyard where there was only one entrance. My mother would call us every now and then. I remember that day there was a big white car driving around. Then she stopped and attracted the attention of us children. I think with candy or stuffed animals. Santina, if she didn't know, didn't approach anyone, but she approached that car. A man grabbed her by the arm and shoved her into the car. There was also a woman inside. I went up home and my mother asked me about my sister. I was convinced she was coming, but she wasn't." The C.O.A.G district had already experienced a recent kidnapping before Santina's disappearance. On March the 6th of 1988, 11-year-old Tonino Nino Saviano was playing football in the same neighbourhood when he was abducted. Later that day, he was discovered tied to a kennel with copper wire, severely beaten and unconscious. He remained in a coma for approximately 5 days before waking. However, he had no recollection of the events or the identity of his assailant. Many speculated that the same perpetrator responsible for Nino's abduction may have also been involved in Santina's case. By 4 p.m. that afternoon, alarmed by her absence and unable to locate her despite searching the vicinity extensively, her parents raised the alarm and contacted the Carabinieri. The news quickly spread throughout the community, intensifying the urgency to find the missing 6-year-old. During the 1990s, kidnapping for ransom were unfortunately common, but Santina's family lacked the financial means to be a target for such crimes. Therefore, this possibility was swiftly dismissed. Instead, suspicions turned towards the grim prospect of organ trafficking, paedophiles, child traffickers, and even the mafia, but no evidence could substantiate these claims. Investigators pursued leads involving the Roma community, while friends, relatives, and acquaintances were thoroughly questioned. Despite these efforts, Santina Renda could not be located. Francesca, even after years had passed, remembered startling details about her sister's alleged abduction. "I vividly recall the man's face who grabbed her. He wore sunglasses and sported a thick beard. Interestingly, Santina didn't appear to cry out, leading some to speculate that she might have recognised whoever kidnapped her. However, her sister dismisses this notion, stating, quote, "I don't believe she knew them." The family also casts doubt on an account provided by an unstable individual who came forward to authorities and told them that he had accidentally killed Santina after she fell from his motorcycle. The Rendas didn't find any credence in regards to this particular individual's account. However, 2 years later, this male individual would later resurface in an unexpected turn of events. The individual in question was 17-year-old Vincenzo Campanella, a fruit and vegetable street vendor known locally as the Idiot due to his mental health issues. His statements regarding the alleged motorcycle accident were deemed unreliable and confused, leading authorities to doubt his account. Despite his confession to killing Santina, he was unable to provide any evidence or locate the little girl's body, further complicating the investigation, which initially seemed like a clear-cut child abduction case. Further down the line, Vincenzo retracted his confession. 2 years later, on February 5th, 1992, Campanella faced accusations of abducting another child, 8-year-old Maurizio Nunzio Renda, who had just happened to be Santina's cousin, and beating him to death by smashing his head with an iron bar. Nunzio had been reported missing earlier that same day, but was later found deceased in Bellolampo landfill, his body surrounded by a pool of his own blood. The severity of the blows inflicted on the boy were horrific, and according to newspaper reports in the Italian media at the time, Maurizio had tried to escape an attempted sexual assault. Campanella's reasoning behind so brutally killing an 8-year-old boy remains elusive, as does the question as to why he claimed to have killed Santina when her own sister saw her be abducted by a bearded man. Mental health issues, of course, are extremely complex and affect everyone differently. It is unclear what was discovered during Campanella's mental health assessment prior to his trial for killing Maurizio, though he was eventually deemed mentally capable of understanding right and wrong. Many character references, including Santina's own family, claimed Campanella was harmless and would never hurt anyone. But the fact of the matter was, he did, and prior to his confession, blamed a number of innocent men for Santina's disappearance and Maurizio's death. Chillingly, Campanella and his family remained close to Maurizio's family following his death and funeral, as did the family of a 46-year-old man, Giorgio Curtona, who Campanella claimed to be his accomplice. It is not known whether Giorgio was questioned and ruled out, as little to no information is available to verify this, but he proclaimed his innocence in the media. Maurizio Nunzio Renda was laid to rest in a white coffin, following a memorial service at San Giovanni, during which the priest asked for everyone to remember Santina, who remained missing at this time, asking for gestures of courage and redemption for their families. At Campanella's trial, crucial evidence sealed his fate. Several blood spots were found on his clothing, and when questioned as to who the blood belonged to, the teen claimed it was from 2 rabbits he had culled. His account of that afternoon and evening, however, did not add up. It was also very interesting to note that Santina, Maurizio, and Vincenzo all lived just doors away from one another in Via Pietro dell'Aquila. Following legal proceedings, Vincenzo Campanella was sentenced to 29 years in prison for the murder of Maurizio, and was not given a life sentence due to the fact others believed he was mentally unstable. However, whether he actually harmed the child remains uncertain, and the investigation into Maurizio's case was eventually dropped, leaving lingering questions and unresolved mysteries. Police did explore the landfill site where Maurizio's body was found for any sign of Santina, but to no avail. To this day, Santina Renda has never been found. In November of 2022, Santina's mother, Vincenza Enza Shirato, appealed online for anyone with any information regarding her daughter's disappearance to come forward. She said, quote, "I ask you with my heart in my hand, help me make my daughter's story viral on social media." After the appeal, a woman from Northern Europe approached authorities, believing she might be Santina, having been adopted from Sicily as a child. However, DNA testing ultimately determined that she was not the missing Santina, leaving the case without any significant breakthroughs or closure. No concrete evidence has been found to indicate what fate befell the 6-year-old, other than witness testimony of her sister, who witnessed her abduction by a bearded man in a white vehicle. No evidence has been found to suggest Campanella was involved despite his confession. More needs to be uncovered for this case to gain further traction. Francesca told Tag24, quote, "It's years of anguish and hope. It would be enough for me to know that she is alive, even if she doesn't want to see or hear us. It would be enough for me to know that Santina is alive and well, and that she is happy." When Santina Renda disappeared in 1990, she was just 6 years old. Described as Caucasian, she stood at 3 feet 6 inches tall, with brown hair and brown eyes. One distinguishing feature was her lisp. In 2024, Santina would be turning 41 years old. As time has elapsed, the area where Santina vanished has undergone significant changes, making it exceedingly difficult to retrace her steps today. However, an age progression image has been released to the public in collaboration with Manisco World Association and lawyers involved in this case, including Luigi Ferrandino, offering a glimpse of what Santina might look like if she were still alive. This image was released in 2022 in the hopes to reignite focus on the case, which has remained cold for over 3 decades. Meanwhile, lawyer Giorgia Bagnasco, representing the Ferrandino firm, has reached out to the Palermo Public Prosecutor's Office. She aims to present reports on investigative activities conducted independently, with the goal of advocating for the reopening of the investigation into Santina Renda's disappearance. Despite the challenges, Santina's family persists in their search for answers, clinging to the hope that one day they will find closure and bring Santina home. All her sister Francesca wants is the truth, quote, "ugly or beautiful."